Oh, FMA. How I can't wait until Funimation puts out a full Blu-ray complete box set of the entire series so I can purchase it and watch you all over again. Because as far as manga anime translations go, FMA is the finest. Duh. I mean, but I didn't forget about you, Goda. You know, no one could ever forget about you, Goda. You'll always be my number one. You know that, right? Right? Shh. It's okay. It's okay. Season 6 comes out soon, and Film Z's on the way. Shh. It's alright. It's alright. Shh. But never minding that, I still need something to watch, because it's not like that's coming out anytime soon. Funimation maybe, put out an announcement for that. I'm just saying. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, shaking violently. Well, you know she has another series you can watch, right? What? There's another series? You talking about Hero Tales? No. The other one. There's another one? The new one. The one that just started, that aired last year and then aired its second season this year and it just ended. Oh, right. What's it called again? It's called Silver Spoon. Well, I mean, it's a Arakawa production, and we have the greatness that is FMA. She can't really do no wrong in my eyes currently, so I'll give it a shot. What's it about anyway? It's about farming. Seriously? Yeah, but it's not like you're in the position to talk. I mean, you've watched things with less interesting plots. You've actually literally watched anime about little girls going to high school. And it's not even like they were doing anything magical or fantastical or anything. You just literally watched anime about little girls going to high school. I'll give it a shot. I mean, besides, it's just farming. How bad could it possibly be?
Yeah, 助かった。ありがとな、一年坊。お礼しなきゃな。スモークチキンできたら食わせてやるよ。妖精、ラングース、名前は。
Okay, apparently you can't handle farming. You think? Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Gamefreak here to bring you another anime review, and as I have stated previously, if the title didn't state it already for you, we are reviewing Silver Spoon, made by the same creator as Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, there's kind of a funny, interesting backstory that goes along with this. Apparently this series kind of ties in with, I believe the mangaka's name is Arakawa. It ties into her childhood. I think she grew up on a farm, and she decided for her next manga to have it be based in the same setting. And there's a lot of farm cultural influences from that, and because of her childhood, and because she wanted to use that as a reference, we get Silver Spoon. So, lol. Now, Silver Spoon is kind of an interesting series to talk about because, to be perfectly honest, Silver Spoon doesn't have a real plot. I mean, it's all centered around the main character, Yugo Hachiken. Hachiken is a dude who was kind of way too stressed out by the normal middle school life and couldn't really handle the pressure and the demands that his parents have of him and the things they expected from him. The pressure was a little bit too much for him, so he ended up running away to a farming school. And that's really where the story takes place. He doesn't really have a clear-cut goal. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He just ran there because it was the furthest place away from what he was dealing with. And really, we're just kind of watching him develop and adapt to these new situations. And the thing about the show is that there's not really any action or violence. I mean, everything's based in reality. This is one of the more grounded shows you'll watch. I mean, comparing this show to say this show is this show is as much of an action series as Azumanga Daioh is, or as Kimi no Todoke is. No, it's a slice of life, chilled out. That's all you're going to be watching is just normal everyday activities. Now the thing about Silver Spoon that is interesting and engaging is Hachiken himself. This show has like a perfect kind of build up, kind of like One Piece in a way, where it has kind of a slow start and you kind of get more used to the characters and you adapt and you end up enjoying the series more and more as it goes on. Our main character, as I previously stated, is a dude who really doesn't know what he wants to do in his life, and you have all these kids who actually needed to come to this farming school to major in different subjects to kind of go for different career paths. And you'd be surprised what career paths will go from a farming school. It's not just a simple, do you want to own a ranch? Do you want to ride horses? Do you want to feed the chickens? I mean, you have people who come here to be veterinarians. You have people who come here to study in just certain products like cheese. You got to understand where the thing comes from to major in that kind of stuff. And it just kind of progresses through there. Some people are going to end up owning their family's entire businesses. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And the thing that makes Silver Spoon interesting is that we get to see the farming perspective of how the food that we eat on a daily basis is brought to us. You know, for us who live in the cities or who are, or pretty much those who don't live in farms, we get to see the inside job of everything, and Hodgkin's kind of like our eyes through that way. On top of which, there's a lot of things he has to adapt to that he's not used to. The fact that in Silver Spoon, the animals are treated on the same level as humans, if not better, most of the time. And it makes sense in the context of the series, and that's probably how it is in real life, because the animals are so important to almost everyone's jobs at the school and the families that are in the school. And it's ridiculous. The other thing that's interesting is that Hodgkin is that character who questions everything. He reminds me of Hikigaya from Snafu a lot because of that. It's not as ridiculous because he doesn't really do it until we get to certain points in the series. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's the one thing I love about Hodgkin. Hodgkin's that dude who will question everything that happens, and he's the dude who will never stop asking questions. Although they do make it an interesting plot point later on about how asking too many questions and not just accepting things as the way they are will tend to get you hurt. And that's the kind of stuff you wouldn't think Silver Spoon would explore. You figured it would just be a whole bunch of farming related stuff. You might have some gags relating to some animals, which we do. I mean, we have some interesting gags, particularly with the horses and some pigs. Oh my god, by the way, Arakawa did not lose her touch. She can still make you feel things, because I swear to God, some of these animals make you cry for different reasons. I'm not going to go into the details. Also, this anime doesn't pull any punches. You know how like a lot of anime will usually do that whole, human rights activist crap, even though it's not realistic? No, if an animal needs to die, the animal is dying. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's the other thing that's interesting about Silver Spoon. You get to understand the farming life a lot better than you probably do, and get to see kind of the, little, knobs and gears that turn while the whole process is going. You also have this interesting cast of characters. The only thing I'll say about the characters that I don't like is that some of them aren't really focused on until later, and even when they are focused on, you kind of don't remember certain characters' names. I don't feel like the cast is bad. I just feel like it's like big, and like some of those characters get overshadowed. Like, I'll give you an example. One of the first characters you meet in the series is named Ayakawa, who wants to be a veterinarian, but he has a serious problem with animals. I think it's either with animals dying or blood. It was something specific on that line. And he's featured relatively, often in the beginning of the series, and then he just kind of panders off into nothingness, and you don't see him for a while. It's kind of like that. You have characters who do that, where you'll see them for a while, or you'll see them for like certain bits, and you won't see them again. And it's very weird. But I will say the one thing I do like about the student interaction is that it's kind of a cool contrast to Hodgkin, meaning Hodgkin will say things that the other kids don't think about, and therefore the kids start thinking about them, and it kind of changes their perspectives a little bit, and vice versa. It's kind of like how Hodgkin's like, I don't really have something to strive for, I don't have a goal, but he ends up getting into things, and the thing, you kind of learn Hodgkin's good points while watching him figure out what his good points are and what he wants to do. Hodgkin's that type of dude who is really a hard worker. He's really dedicated, even if it's not something he's passionate about, he can get really dedicated into work. He also likes studying a lot, which I will say that funny ass stereotype about how people who grow up on farms aren't necessarily the most educated. They play the shit out of that in this. Toykawa, I feel so bad for you, sir. I'm so sorry. Silver Spoon is one of those series you kind of sit there and you watch, and even the second season is just more of an extension of that. And the second season gets relatively dark because, as I said, this anime doesn't pull any punches. You also get to see kind of the strained relationship between Hachiki and his family, whether it's his brother, his father, specifically his father. His mother isn't that bad, but it just gets, this anime is raw. It's a raw anime about farming, and which I don't know if that's a joke in it might be a joke in itself. I apologize if it's a joke in itself, because that was a bad pun. Even though some of you might say it was excellent. Oh. Alright, I'll stop. Silver Spoon is a realistic approach to the whole farming aspect of life, period. And it ends up being very educational and very interesting for different reasons. We also have a main character who not only sits there and just kind of observing and taking everything in, but he's also questioning things. So it makes you, and I like that, because not only are we getting the information of, how the farming life really works, but we're also getting the skepticism that comes from people who don't understand it, or people who are new to this environment. Because Hachiki questions a lot of things. Like, it's like, oh look, these animals are so important, they're so important that we treat them on the same level, if not better than humans. So what gives us the right to kill them? It's like questions like that, and it's a very interesting and complex thing that kind of swirls around this series. It's actually relatively short. It's 2 seasons and it's only 22 episodes because each season's only 11 episodes. And you think, oh, they don't do too much. Oh, they do enough. They do a lot in them episodes, son. It's ridiculous. And even some of the smaller episodes have their meanings. Give you an example. Some of these characters haven't even eaten like some of the foods we have in, which I don't know how true that is to people who live in farms. Like, give you some. One of the episodes is based around pizza. Like, that's the point of the episode. And as dumb as that premise sounds, it actually comes off being a very interesting thing for different reasons. But I won't spoil it. I'll let you enjoy it when you get to it. But if you do want to check out Silver Spoon, I know it's licensed by Aniplex. I don't know if we're ever going to get a physical release, and if we do, it'll probably be overpriced as hell. So I'm going to suggest that you watch it on Crunchyroll, which the link will be in the description. And if you want to get a 14-day free trial membership, click the link on the screen, which is crunchyroll.com/tdthekid. And that helps me out, and you get 14 free days of free Crunchyroll material to experience the greatness of the Netflix of anime. And that's all anyone can ask for. But overall, I say Silver Spoon was awesome. It was a lot better than I thought it would be, and I wasn't expecting much because of the premise. The premise might trick you. It get rough. They don't care. Arakawa don't care. And if you watch FMA, you would know Arakawa don't give a fuck. It's like, your shit's raw. You gonna see the full repercussions and the darkness that resides in human beings. So I highly recommend it, which is weird for a show like this, but it's good, man. It's good. People need to stop sleeping on the slice of life genre. You don't know, man. You don't know about that life, yo. Anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game. Play to win. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.